Hello and welcome to the PowerTest 25 conference hosted by NETA. I'm Ellen Parson, Editor-in-Chief of EC&M, and I'm here today in Orlando to learn everything I can about electrical power safety and reliability from some of the leading subject matter experts in the field, and I have one of those subject matter experts with me today. So thank you, Chris Campbell, for joining us today. He is Vice President of Data Center Execution at Eaton Corporation. And we really appreciate you joining us today. We kind of want to get the key takeaways. You were on a panel today called AI Learning, Improving Operational Efficiency and Workforce Safety on the trade show floor. So it had a lot of attendees, and there were, I think, 5 or 6 experts on there. So we wanted to just kind of get the key takeaways and pick your brain on what happened at that panel and go into what you thought was important for the PowerTest attendees. So if you want to just start off with a little bit about your company and your role there, and then we'll move into some of the questions.
Sure.
Okay.
Great, thank you. So as Vice President of Data Center Execution within Eaton Corporation, my roles and responsibilities are really to improve the customer experience. We're at a time where there's never really been a more exciting time to be in the electrical power industry, and the demand for electric power and services is greater than we have ever seen. So you think of data centers in my role, absolutely, electrification, inshoring and reshoring, large projects going on. There's just this huge, overwhelming demand, and we don't have enough people to support that demand. Now within Eaton, we've always valued training. We have our Power Systems Experiences Center in Pittsburgh and Houston, just announced a new opening of one in St. Louis. So we've long valued training and the benefit of training the next generations in our workforces. And we really see AI, artificial intelligence, as a tool, an option to augment that training, leverage that to become more efficient.
Okay. Now you talked about also, I know in there, yes, there are so great things that can come from this AI, but there's also risks. One of the things you brought up was safety, that you were concerned about. We can adopt all these things, but we have to make sure we're doing it safely. So what was discussed on that front?
Sure. Yeah, I think we went back and forth quite a bit on the benefits, but the risks, with safety being a key element. I mean, at the end of the day, we're asking our field service and engineers and technicians who go out into the field to go into some pretty dangerous environments, and it's a dangerous job, and safety has to be at the forefront of all that we do. Within Eaton, we look at safety as a value. It's not a priority, it's a value. It has to be ingrained in our overall culture and everything that we do. So as we look at adopting new technologies such as artificial intelligence, we see that as an opportunity to harness data. We have a distributed workforce. How do we leverage the learnings that we have across that very wide array, that large distributed workforce, harness that within AI, and then teach new employees? But when we teach them that, the safety element cannot be forgotten. We have to maintain that. So educating them around the proper use from a safety standpoint is absolutely critical, and something we talk about as we evolve our journey within leveraging AI for efficiencies.
Now I know some of the panelists also talked about, AI can do things, but it's only as good as the data that you give it. And like you said, you have to train people on how to do this. So what efforts, or how do you think that's going to go with the training? Because everyone has a different, idea of what AI should be doing. Some people might think, oh, it's fine to use AI for everything. And to what extent, that's kind of a gray area. So as we figure that out, how is education and training going to be just critical going forward?
Absolutely. The training piece is very, very critical. The training and the learning, I'll say. We have the opportunity to learn from all of our employees. We have employees coming up with great use cases for artificial intelligence that we're learning from. So we want to have that element, but we also have to have the proper controls in place to make sure it's not being used in a manner that it's not intended. I personally believe the benefits outweigh the risk, but we still have to effectively manage the risk associated with it.
I also remember sitting in on the panel, you talked about, I think, a tiered approach. I remember that some people, the level to which they're going to adopt AI now, and someone asked, what's going to happen 5 to 10 years from now? And you kind of laughed and were like, well, that's a little bit too long to be looking forward. It's changing every day, every hour. It's not, 5 to 10 years is a little hard to figure out, at least at this point. So what was that tiered approach you were talking about? So some people may, adopt a low, medium to high level of AI implementation.
Sure, and I think that's having controls in place to manage the risk. If it's something basic and I'm using AI to help support, write a paper or performance review or something like that, probably not as high as risk of using AI to help troubleshoot a fault in a power distribution system.
Yeah.
So making sure that we're leveraging the technology and managing the risk at different tiers is going to be critical. The evolution and the question, and I kind of laughed at it because I said 5 or 10 years, I have no idea where we'll be.
Right.
It's changing, certainly yearly, but really weekly, daily, things are changing, evolving very quickly. And, there's an element within electrical power services, safety's critical, safety, speed, and creativity. You think of safety, that's table stakes. We have to have that. But the speed and creativity that can come from the right leverage of artificial intelligence is absolutely a competitive advantage. And the companies that figure that out and adopt the proper use of it the best are going to take the most advantage and find that as a competitive advantage in the markets.
Well, that sounds like a great place to wrap things up with our conversation. Thank you so much, Chris, for joining us today. We really appreciate it, for giving us your expert insight on AI and industry training and education. So we really appreciate it. Thank you, and have a great day.